అలాగే అంజయ్ చౌదరి లావ్ గారు ప్రెసిడెంట్, తానా ప్రెసిడెంట్, కరెంట్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ కూడా జాయిన్ అయి ఉన్నారు. అలాగే రాజా కసుకుర్తి గారు సో తానా కమ్యూనిటీ కోఆర్డినేటర్ అండి, కమ్యూనిటీ సర్వీస్ కోఆర్డినేటర్ జాయిన్ అయి ఉన్నారు. సో ద మీటింగ్ ఎలా కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాము అంటే ఇది సో ఫస్ట్ తానా లీడర్షిప్ గివ్ ఫ్యూ మినిట్స్ కీనోట్ ఒకటి ఇస్తారండి. ఇచ్చిన తర్వాత సో హూ ఎవర్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్ కామెంట్ బాక్స్ లో మీరు చాట్ సెషన్ లో క్వశ్చన్ పోస్ట్ చేస్తే సో ఇట్ గోస్ టు ద అనిల్ గారు అండి. సో అనిల్ గారు ప్రతి క్వశ్చన్ కి ఆన్సర్ చేస్తారు. సో క్వశ్చన్ సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యే ముందు అనిల్ గారు విల్ గివ్ ఏ బ్రీఫ్ కీ నోట్ అండి ఫర్ ఫ్యూ మినిట్స్, దెన్ క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్ కూడా ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఓవరాల్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఆఫ్ ద మీటింగ్ అండి. సో ఐ విల్ హ్యాండ్ ఓవర్ టు అంజయ్ చౌదరి లావ్ గారు, సో తన president, and let's give few minutes అండి.
Thank you, Sai. Can you hear me, Sai?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just go in English. I'm not sure the audience might be bilingual, right? So let me go in English. So good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome. So first of all, would like to recognize man of the evening, Mr. Anil Grandi. He is not just a CPA or he has a long association with TANA. We go hand in hand. We did many programs that cater to the audience. And of course, we pick the need of our topics always. So any and all collaborative events that we have done with Anil Garu has been a phenomenal success. So we'll continue the trend. And also I need to recognize, fellow leadership who unconditional support is needed for this great event. So once again, we have our community service coordinator, Raja Kaskurti, of course, our South Central RC, Sai Bolneni, and also I would like to recognize Padma Bogavalli Garu also. So from the Northwest, she's from RC, from Portland. And of course, I could see our leadership. I see Chandu Goripati and our foundation trustee, and who are all from the leadership. Want to recognize them for their unconditional support. And also, the main topic for today, economic injury disaster loan, which is called EIDL. So I think all the business owners are very familiar with this term, and this is up to 2 million. So need of the hour, Anil Grandi Garu, I know you're tired, you're back from Dallas, so hope you got more tips from Dallas, and that will add to your knowledge. And let's make sure all the audience are abreast of what's going on, how to take advantage of this particular webinar. So without taking more time, let's dive into the session. And back to you, Sai. You all have a good day, good night. Bye.
Thank you, Anjay Garu. So next, I would like to Raja Kaskurti Garu, community service coordinator. Let's speak few words, Anjay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Sai. And thank you everyone and Anjay Chaudhary Garu to encourage us to do all these community related events and the webinars to educate and create awareness in our community. And TANA is an organization like which we want to create more awareness about all the things like what's going on in the current situation, as well as what's needed for the community. So at this time, like Anil Grandi Garu told us, like there is a EDIL, economic disaster loan for the small businesses and the established businesses. They can utilize this loan from the small business, I guess. So he's going to tell a lot of things. I don't have to tell about Anil Grandi Garu. He was on TANA platform. He did a lot of webinars for us, starting from the PPL loans, tax webinars, whatnot, right? So he is with us today. And TANA, as always, we want to serve the community, and we would like to do more community awareness and community education events like this. And please avail all the benefits and all the information what we are providing from these webinars. Thank you, Sai.
And thank you, Raja Garu. Now the main hero of this meeting, Andy. So I will ask Anil Grandi Garu give a keynote, Andy.
Thank you very much, Sai Garu, and thanks for the nice intro and welcoming from Anjay Chaudhary Garu and Raja Garu. And I strongly believe this is the need of hour, as Anjay Garu said. This is this may be the last government supported initiative in respect to the COVID perspective, but to the small business owners. So this is a very first, many small business owners are not aware of what are the recent changes has taken place for this long-term loan given by SBA. So before you get into before we get dive into the topic, Anjay Garu, still I am in Dallas only. So next I will be here and sir, you are on mute. Anjay Garu,
then you have more information.
Yes. Anand, good. Yeah. Okay, so then let's get into the topic. And if anyone has any questions, so please post your messages in the chat box. I would be happy to answer. And one thing I want to tell before I get into the topic. So this is an extension. I know that most of the small business owners are already aware of what is the EADL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan, because this loan is there for the last 1.5 years. It was launched on March 16th, 2020. So I'm not trying to get into the more detailed granular basics, but I'm trying to focus more on what are the recent updates, what you should know. Your time is valuable. Everyone's time is valuable here. So I'm just trying to focus on most what is important for us. But however, if you have any more questions on the basics, I'm very much happy to answer those questions also. So let's get into the topic. I'm sharing my screen. So, Sai Garu, I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, Andy, sure. Kanipistundi.
So, okay. So these are the recent updates. In the month of September, around a month back, there were a lot of announcements. Around 3 weeks back, there were a lot of announcements from EADL, from SBA in respect to SBA loans, in respect to these loans. So I'm just focusing on updates only. But before getting into the topic, as usual, just you should know with whom you are talking. Who is this guy? How he is helping? So just I'm trying to give some background about me. So I have 15 years of experience in finance as a finance controller, CFO, and other senior finance positions. I'm the CEO and founder of AG Fintechs, and I worked in Amazon, Starbucks, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Sun Edison. Sun Edison was the world's largest renewable energy company, and I was the finance controller for Indian operations. We have been helping small business owners on taxes, on tax planning, CFO services, bookkeeping, and other accounting services. I brought up in a business community family. I know what a small business owner's challenges are. I have been seeing from my childhood, I have been trying to help small business owners by sharing my knowledge. So in this process, after I quit my job from Amazon, in the last couple of years, I have been helping so many business owners and bringing the latest updates from the government, and also trying to bring what are the best industry practices being followed by Fortune 500 companies with my working experience from there. So, let's get into the topic now. So who is eligible to apply for economic injury disaster loan? So this is exclusively designed for the small business owners. What does this mean? Individuals are not eligible to apply. If you're on W2, you can't apply for this loan. And if you're a bigger company, like if you have more than 500 employees, you are not eligible to apply for this loan. And even non-profit organizations also can apply for this loan. And for all the COVID-related government support initiatives, by default, there are some terminologies used by SBA. It says that these loans or any grants or whatever government is giving to support the COVID impacted businesses, they say that the business needs to be directly or indirectly impacted because of the disaster. So those businesses are eligible for this to apply for this loan. So at very high level, this is a loan. SBA, this Economic Injury Disaster Loan is given by Small Business Administration, which is an SBA, exclusively to support small business owners during this pandemic time. And the interest rate, this is a loan. It means you need to repay the loan. It is not a PPP. It is not an RRF, Restaurant Revitalization Fund grant. It means you have to repay it. So, but PPP and RRF were written off, or it's a grant. You don't have to give it back. But this money, you have to give it back with an interest of 3.75% interest, and the loan term is 30 years. So over the 30 years, you can repay the loan. And the very good thing here is the first 2 years after you receive the loan, you don't have to do any repayment. The monthly installment won't be starting unless you complete your 2 years of period. It doesn't mean that interest is not accruing. It means interest gets accrued from the day you receive the loan, but it starts accumulating. But the first monthly EMI will start from the 2 years from the first receipt of your loan. It means if you received this loan last year, April 1st, 2020, so the first EMI will start on April 1st, 2022 onwards. So whether you increase the loan or doesn't matter, from the first date of receipt of the loan is what the time counts. And on average, if you get a loan of $2 million, which is a maximum, which initially, I want to give some story here. Last year, this program was launched around March 15th of 2020. And when they launched this program, they said they want to give $2 million to all the small business owners, up to $2 million to all the small business owners. But as during the April month, the number of applications received by SBA were overwhelming. Then they reduced the loan amount to the maximum of $150,000. So many people didn't even take this loan because it was just only $150,000 because they were not even enough. That was not even enough. But now they increased this loan amount. It means you don't have to resubmit. Don't have to submit any new application if you already got some money last year. So last year you got money $150,000, but now they increase it to $2 million. Of course, there are a lot of terms and conditions and everything, which we are going through now in the next few slides. So at high level, this is what the background of EADL loan. And the other thing is, as I mentioned, this is a working capital loan. What does this mean? You have to use this money only for the purpose of working capital. It means to pay the salaries, to pay 1099 payments, 1099 contractor payments, rent, utilities, accounts payable, or any other maintenance charges. And you can also use it for working capital operating expenses. And the biggest change taken place in this recent announcements last month was you can also use these funds to repay any business debt. It means you may already have some loan or line of credit with some bank or any other long-term loan or mortgage loan, anything you can use for anything, you can use these funds to repay. This is the very biggest change in this recent announcements. And the other thing is, this is, as I mentioned, this is not like a PPP. It means, in comparison with from where you get this money, you need to directly work with Small Business Administration, which is a government organization, which is designed, which is built to support small business owners. You don't need to go to any lender or like any banker, like Bank of America or Chase or anywhere. You don't need to go to any lender, any banker mediators. It's a direct contact. You will be working directly with the SBA. And so, this is also very important point which I want to talk is this loan is secured? It is unsecured loan for the small business owners up to $25,000 only. It means if you receive the loan up to $25,000, you don't need, it is not secured. It means even you have not repaid also, government technically can't do anything because this is not secured loan. But If it's a secured loan, if it's more than $25,000, it is a secured loan and it requires a collateral. So what does that mean? If it's more than $25,000, SBA requires a collateral from you. Up to $500,000 loan, your business assets will automatically become collateral to the SBA. It means if you have an AR balances, if you have an inventory, or if you have a business property, all those things will automatic business assets will automatic collateral for this loan if the loan is less than $500,000. If the loan is more than $500,000, you need to give an external collateral. It means you need to give some other real estate properties which is owned by business only. It is very, very important point. Many people come to me and they say that I don't have any personal assets on my name or personal properties to give it as a collateral. Can I apply for this loan? Answer is yes, you can apply for this loan. If your business has any assets, those assets you have to give as a collateral to SBA. If the business doesn't have any assets, you don't have to give any assets as a collateral. SBA cannot decline any loan just because you don't have the collateral. However, they look into what is your strength of your business assets. It means how much AR you have, how much inventory you have, and other parameters they consider it. So, and also they also look into your personal individual level capacity to repay the loan. It means the business is owned by you, but what is your capacity? Because this is a secured loan, you have to give a personal security, personal guarantee if the loan is more than $200,000. The loan is more than $200,000, you're personally liable. If you closed your business, still SBA has then authority to come to you and they can file a case on you to collect your personal assets. So what SBA is doing is SBA wants to validate what is your individual level repaying capacity. So you have to give all the documents. What is your bank balance, your personal level? What is your bank balance? How much stocks you have? What is your real estate properties? And what is your liabilities? Like you may have a mortgage liability or you have any other liabilities. So you have to give all those details to SBA. Once you give all this information, then underwriter will take the decision whether they want to give the loan to you or not. So in summarizing this slide, up to 500, instead of going through all this process, do I really need to give my personal assets details to him? Or do I really need to give my business assets, external business assets as a collateral? Then if that is the case, you can stop taking the loan at $500,000 itself. You don't need to go up more than $500,000. Just be happy with $500,000. Very simple documentation. And you don't need to give a lot more documentation. If you need more than $500,000, be ready to go through, give a lot of documentation. But one thing I shall say, this is one of the cheapest loan available in the market for the businesses. 3.75% loan, which is for 30 years. This is one of the best, cheapest loan available in the market if you are really in need of money. Then this is a snapshot of what's happening about this loan and what are the recent changes. So as I was mentioning, the interest is 3.75% if it's a business, and the interest is 2.75% if it is a non-profit organization. And your loan, you don't need to repay the loan. The monthly installments won't start until you complete 2 years of your time. And there is a credit score requirement. It means if you need less than $25,000 loan, you should have minimum of 570 as a credit score. If you need a loan of up to $500,000, you should have minimum 570 as a credit score. And if you need up to $2 million, more than $500 million, then your credit score should be 625. It's minimum. Otherwise, they are not compromising. And on top of that, if it's as I mentioned, more than $200,000, you have to give a personal guarantee also. And this is what the use of the loans. So like the loan funds can be used for the normal operating expenses, and working capital, payroll, rent, inventory, raw material, any variable cost, and also commercial debt, payment and prepayment. You can just prepay any of your commercial debt, and you can do the monthly installment payments also. And very frequent question I get on this EADL is, I heard there are a lot of restrictions on this loan. What should I do? What should I do? Can I use this money, or is it recommended or not? This is what exactly, if this is extract from the SBA. What SBA says is, whatever the funds are given to you, those funds have to be used only for the given purpose. And they have given a specific list of things for which you cannot use this funds. An example, dividends and bonuses. From this money, you are not supposed to use this money to give any dividends or bonuses. Disbursements to the owners, or draws or distributions. You cannot take any money as a owner distribution. Like example, you have some profits in the company. Can I use this money? You are not taking the profits for the long time. Once you get this money, immediately can you use these funds? No, you cannot use these funds to take out, to repay, to give any owner disbursements. And repayment to the principal shareholders loan. You cannot use this money to repay any shareholders loan. And expansion of facilities or acquisition of fixed assets. It means I cannot use this money to buy a new company, new business, or to expand. Like example, you are having a restaurant, you have a one location. Can I go and use this money to open a new location? Answer is no. You already have a seating capacity of maybe 50. You want to expand to maybe 70. Can I use this for the expansion? Answer is no. But you can use this money to maintain or to buy any replacement of fixed assets for your running business. And repair or replacement of physical damages. If your business is impacted, or if you want to replace something, yes, you can do it. And relocation. You cannot use this money for any physical damages of any capital investments. You cannot use it. And the last one is the relocation. You cannot use this money to spend any relocation expenses for you. If you want to relocate the business from one place to other place, no, you cannot use this money. You have restrictions only on these amounts. Apart from this, you can use it for any business operating expenses. So what is the best way? How do we track all this? The best way to use EADL funds is, this is what process-wise, this is what I want to explain. Please open a separate bank account. Get all the funds deposited in that bank account. Use the money only for the given purpose. Maybe to pay salaries, maybe to pay rent, or maybe to repay your business debt. Then use the funds completely, close the bank account, done. So otherwise, if you mix these funds with your regular running recurring business account, then it would be very difficult for you to demonstrate that you use the funds only for the given purpose. As long as you use the funds only for the given purpose, I don't think so. I don't think any issue will rise. Use the funds, given purpose, funds are over in next 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, done. You will be good enough. So if you have any more questions on this, feel free to post a chat questions on the chat, or otherwise I can take up the questions in the end also. So then other thing is, this is one more snapshot of what are the changes taking place effective September 8th, 2021. The first major change is increase the cap from $500,000 to $2 million. As I mentioned earlier it was $150,000. Actually, later they increased to $500,000. Now it is $2 million. And they are not going to approve any loan application until October 8, 2021. Many of my clients got confirmations for $2 million, but approval, the final approval is not yet done, not yet received for $2 million. So if you're not yet received for $2 million approvals, don't worry. After October 8th, we are expecting a lot more approvals. Then the other major change is you can use these funds apart from operating expenses. You can also use it to repay any commercial debt. So it means if you have some vehicle debt, or you might have a finance on your vehicle. You may have a truck for your business, and you may need to repay the debt. You can use these funds, or otherwise you may have a SBA loan, or otherwise you may have any other bank loan. You can use these funds to repay it. And the 24 up to 24 months, you don't need to repay it. And this is also very important. Affiliation rules. The simplified affiliation rules now. It means if we have a group of companies all together to the maximum of $10 million, you can get it. You have multiple companies, you can apply from every company, but all together, you cannot exceed more than $10 million. And all companies means what? All companies. There is a definition given for affiliation. If any company, if you individually, if you have more than 50% shares, those companies only you include when you count $10 million calculation, maximum 10 million cap calculation. If you sometimes I have seen that you may have a 20% stock in some company or 25% stake in other company. You can just ignore it. But when you see the maximum cap 10 million, you should consider all 50% and above shareholdings only you should consider. And SBI also split this entire loan increase process into two parts. The first one, you already got, if you have not received $150,000 last year, you can apply it now. Brand new application, you can submit it. If you are applying for the first time, you can go and apply. That is the one type of way, one way of application. Or if you already applied for loan last year and you already got $150,000, then there are two phases SBI has given. Phase one, you can go and apply for up to $500,000. So once you meet your eligibility criteria, what is the eligibility criteria? How the loan amount is calculation, I will explain it here. Take 2019 tax return. How much loan I will get it? This is a very common question. How much loan? 2 million. People say up to $2 million. Do I really get $2 million or I get only $100,000? The formula is straightforward formula, very, very easy formula. Open your 2019 tax return. The loan amount equal to how? What is the loan amount? 2019 gross margin multiplied by 2. Gross margin is not the same as net margin, net profit. Gross profit is different, net profit is different. If we have a 1120S, which is an S corporation tax return. If you have a C corporation 1120, if you have 1065, which is the partnership return, go and open any of these tax returns 2019. Go to the line number 3, gross profits. What is the definition of the gross profit? Definition of gross profit is sales minus cost of goods sold. It will give you gross profit. Most of the cases, sales is directly equal to gross profits. From the gross profits, you deduct rent, salaries, operating expenses, admin expenses, marketing expenses, travel expenses, or any other interest payments. Then you get a net profit amount. So gross profit is what the line, open your 2019 tax return, go to the direct line number 3, net profit into 2, sorry, my apologies. Gross profit into 2 is what your loan amount. An example, when you do this calculation, assume you got a loan, you get okay, in 2019, you had a profit of $400,000, gross profit of $400,000. Now I will explain what will happen. $400,000 multiplied by 2 is nothing but $800,000. So you may get a loan up to $800,000. So now what are the steps? You already received $150,000 last year. Then now my first step is increase the loan to up to $500,000. This is the phase 1. First, verify the eligibility requirements. Are you eligible to get $500,000? Answer is yes, because you are eligible up to $800,000. Then complete EADL. There is a form. So there is a form in EADL. If you log into your account, you see there is an option called request for more funds. You log in, directly you see a snapshot of request for more funds. Click that button. You can then it will take you to the then SBI will come back to you within 48 hours saying that whether if a loan is approved up to $500,000 or not. If you're applying for the first time, please go back to this website, sba.gov/EADL. Then you can find an application and you can apply for loan up to $500,000. Once, and in general, it is taking 3 weeks to get the loan approval up to $500,000. Then once you get a loan approval, then you need to go for up to $500,000. Then you need to go for more than $500,000. So how does this work? So once you meet the eligibility criteria, what does that mean? Eligibility criteria, again, I said in the given example, up to $800,000, you are eligible. You already received $500,000. Now you need to go for more than 300,000. The difference of $300,000 you have to apply. So it means there are 2 different steps: up to $500,000, more than $500,000. So once you get, again, you see an option to increase for more funds. Click that button and you get one more response from the SBA. What it will ask is, so sorry. So then what are the documents they will ask? I will cover in the next slide. So once you submit the request for more funds, then SBA will come back and say that, hey, I will approve your number, you are approved, I will confirm your loan amount, but I need these documents list, which I will cover it in the next slide. So, but on average, if the loan is more than $500,000, up to October 8th, after October 8th only, the loan decisions will be taken, or 1.5 months of application from the date of application. It means 6 weeks. So once you submit your application for $2 million, please wait for 6 weeks to get the loan approval. So this is what the timeline. So COVID EADL application for any funds for the less than $500,000, 3 weeks, more than $500,000, 6 weeks. And as I mentioned, there are 2 phases, up to $500,000, more than $500,000. Total is 9 weeks. For the complete process on EADL, it would be 9 weeks. So these are the documents required. So the first most important is we need a 2019 tax return, latest tax return, and also 2019 tax return. And there is a form called 4506T, which is a transcript form. IRS is a transcript. You are authorizing SBA to reach out to the SBA, to reach out to IRS and confirm whether whatever documents you submitted, everything is right or wrong. Everything is whatever the documents you submitted, are they in line with the IRS documents or not? So you are authorizing SBA to go and get the documents. Then for loan of greater than $500,000, up to $500,000, these 2 documents are enough. If the loan amount is more than $500,000, you need a board resolution, you need schedule of liabilities, which is a business liabilities. What is your business account liabilities? How many liabilities company has, and personal financial statement. In this personal financial statement, you have to give what is your assets, what are your assets, what are your liabilities, and also the list of real estate owned. So how many real estate properties you have, you need to list it down. So from the business perspective and also from the individual person perspective, you have to give all these documents to SBA. And this is the okay. And many people reach out to me. My application got declined, or otherwise you already got $150,000. But when you submit an application for increase of the loan request, your application got declined. But what you should do now? This is what my next steps are. So you have an option to submit reconsideration. Within 6 months from the loan decline, you can go and ask for a reconsideration. When you submit a reconsideration, this is what the process you have to follow. Send an email and include in the body of the email, incorrect body of the email. So what is the reason for the discrepancy? Because when you get a decline letter, SBA has clearly mentioning what is the reason. There are different reasons listed down by SBA. So what is the reason? What is your response? And give the true and correct information to SBA to consider. And in the include, and its subject line should be name of the business and file and your loan application number also you should mention in the application number in the subject line. And send an email to the disaster. I think there is a okay. So then you said you need to send an email to SBA in the decline letter, they mentioned to which email ID you have to send that email. By giving all this required information, you should send it to SBA. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this document, this slide. This is a very, very important one. These are the documents which you should send it when you submit a reconsideration request. Then this with my experience, this is what I'm noticing. SBA is declining a lot of applications because of these are the reasons: incorrect banking information, address mismatch, and incorrect information on the driving license, insurance, or IRS documents, and also unfiled federal tax returns. It means you say that you file your tax return and you already filed your you already shared the tax return with SBA. But when SBA reached out to IRS, it says that no, tax return is not filed because SBA has to generate transcript, IRS transcript, which may take up to 8 weeks to process. So once SBA generates the transcript, once IRS generates the transcript, SBA will go and access the transcript. Then they validate all the information. But sometimes IRS is not releasing transcripts because of whatever the reasons. Then if you get a decline letter stating that IRS transcripts are not valid, or as per IRS records, information is not incorrect, not correct, then you need to call to IRS, ensure that all your information is accurate with IRS. Then only go back to the SBA and submit your reconsideration request. So then and okay, when you submit your reconsideration request, so these are the documents also very, very important. Signed and dated and completed form 4506, which is a transcript form. You have to get this document, and I will also share this PDF document of entire presentation with you. So you can click these links and you can get all those documents later if required, or otherwise even you can reach out to me for this document, this copy of this presentation. I would be happy to share with all of you later. So then but click of the button, you get all the links, appropriate links, and you need to submit this transcript form signed. Number 2, then identification. You have to submit your some identity proof when you submit your reconsideration request, and photocopy of a cancelled check reflecting the name of the business and address. So the address is also very, very important, and a check has to be submitted. And you also need to give last 3 years tax returns, 2017, 18, 19, and 20 if available. And all these copies has to be shared with the IRS, with SBA, and schedule of liabilities, and also additional supporting documentation, the bank statements. So you are also supposed to submit your bank statement to prove that your business is in operations, because many businesses are applying for this loan even though they are closed. Even though they close their businesses, still they are getting SBA loans. So they want to validate whether your business is active or not. And also, if SBA says that there is an issue in your credit history or some credit problems, then you are also required to download a report from the credit bureau, and you need to share the document with the SBA. So once you submit all these documents, you can submit all these documents through email. That's it at very high level. What is to be done for EADL perspective? If you have any more questions, I'm very much happy to answer your questions. Raja Garu, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Anil Garu. Sai, would you like to read the questions from the chat room?
Yeah, we have one question, Andy. Can you re-explain the calculation on the gross profit on line 3? So I think like they're looking around how much loan they will get it. So based on your gross profit in the previous. Yes. So can you re-explain that process, sir?
Yep, I will explain it again. This is a very straightforward formula. Very simple. Open your tax returns, directly go to the line number 3, which is called gross profit. So what it says, background for this is, SBA says that SBA wants to support your business for 24 months of operating expenses. So generally, whatever the gross profit you have in a company, from that money, technical accounting terminology, from the gross profit, you use the money to pay your operating expenses. So SBI says is 24 months of operating expenses, I will give it to you. It means 2 years. So, which is nothing but gross profit into 2 multiplied by 2. You can go to a S corporation, C corporation, or partnership tax return 2019. 2020 doesn't matter at all. Your revenue, SBI says that your business has to be impacted with the COVID, but practically when they're giving the loans, I have not seen that they're even considering it. It means even though your 2019 numbers are much bigger than 2020 numbers are much bigger than 2019, still you can get the loan. You can get the loan because they're giving the loan based on 2019. Yes, Aigar.
Yeah. So thanks, Andre. So yeah, we received thank you note. So I think it got answered. And the next question is, what about the company who have no employees? Can they still apply if their gross profit makes them eligible for 400K plus loan?
Answer is yes. Answer is yes. If there is no, this is not a paycheck protection program. PPP is given exclusively for the employees, but economic injury disaster loan doesn't matter. Even you are a 1099 contractor, you are eligible to get this loan.
Thank you. And the next question is, do you need to show that your business needs money before applying?
No.
We don't need to show anything.
You don't have to show. It's straightforward. Based on 2019 gross profit, you are getting it. That's it.
Yeah, we got only 3 questions, Andy. So I think maybe
Sai, I have some more questions here.
They wanted.
Sai.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some more questions here. I will read out these things. Okay.
Now, after that, I do also have some questions. Yeah, but I will answer. Yeah, go ahead.
Before going that, Raja, like I do have one more. What do you mean by impacted by COVID?
So technically, all government supported programs are tagged as businesses has to be impacted because of the COVID. That's only that is one of the terms and conditions. So, but really, are they checking anything when they're giving this loan? Answer is no. But there is no terms and I want to give one example here. There is one more concept called the employee retention tax credit, which is completely off of this topic. But there, they clearly says that your revenue has to be down compared to the 2019. That is what there you show. You have to prove that revenues are down, business is impacted. But here, you don't have to prove anything. But yes, technically speaking, these loans are given only for the businesses which are impacted because of the COVID.
Okay. The next question we have is how to give a new bank account number to SBA to get these funds deposited.
Okay. So you need to send your voided check, cross check, cancel check. You have to send it to SBA by the email, and you can even call to your loan office number. Every SBA loan account has one office. So you don't call to the customer service. SBA customer service is different. Loan office contact number is different. You need to call to the loan office, and you can, if you have the loan officer email ID, you can send the email directly to them. If not, you can call the SBA loan officer number. I can share the contact numbers here if you want. And but then you can share your check over the email to them. You have to send a check to them, cancel check.
So basically, in that case, right? You as you mentioned, open a new account and then get the money into that account. So they have to open a new account.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay. So what I meant is don't mess up anything. If you already given the loan, if you already gave the bank account details shared with SBA, my recommendation is don't mess up anything. What I meant is get the loan, immediately transfer that money to a separate bank account. Like example, if you get a $500,000 loan now, put it in a separate bank account. Once you get the money in your personal, in your regular business operating account, then transfer the money to a separate account, and from there you track it. You say that, okay, come on, see, I received the loan on this date, I transfer the money from here to here. From here, I put all your money in exclusive separate account. I use the money only for the given purpose. This is how we need to demonstrate.
Okay.
So please don't change any bank account details to SBA because I want to get the funds first. After that, the documentation.
Okay. And thank you, Anil Garu. And the next question is the credit score a business credit score or the personal credit score?
Personal credit score.
Okay. And can we use the loan to hire new employee and pay them?
Yes, very much.
Okay. And the next question is, I understand that you wanted to open a new operating bank account, but that's not true, right?
Yes,
deposit
yes.
the loan amount for easy demonstration of
Yes.
that you already answered that.
Yes.
SBA require us to provide the details on the existing current account.
No, I'm sorry. Can you repeat, sir?
The question is, does SBA require us to provide the details on the existing current account?
No.
Okay.
I mean, details means, I mean, when you want the money, you have to share your bank account details with them. So which bank account you need to deposit the money, number one. And when you're submitting a reconsideration request, then you have to show that your business is active and operating. In that case, I recommend you to share a latest bank statement with the SBA so that they can see that yes, business is in operating. Because I personally seen few cases, businesses closed 1 year back itself during the pandemic. Till now they are applying for the loans and they got approved earlier. They received $150,000 last year, but the businesses were already closed. So
okay.
Anil Garu, quick question. Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. Assume that we have a complete requirements met for eligibility and eligible for 500,000 loan. And at this point in time, we are doing the business as usual, no impact, and taking this 500,000 loan at 3.75, really not making any advantage. I don't really know what to use that extra funds for. So do you have any recommendation?
very good question. Sorry, I don't see your name there.
It's Narasimha.
Narasimha. Okay. Narasimha garu chala good question andi. Technically, if you need of funds, you can take the money. If not, you don't have to because you have to pay 3.7% interest. But what can be done? As long as you use the money for the business purpose, you can take the loan. Over the time, you will have more positive cash flow in your business. So that even I have some IT companies, what they are looking is they can get more employees on their payroll. Slowly they can build a business. Which is a working capital requirement that you can do it. Or you have to, over the time, once you use these funds, then you have more positive cash flow, which was already built in the company. You can expand your business, but not from these funds. From these funds, you are not allowed. But from your regular sales, you can use it. No one will stop you from your business expansion. But you cannot use these funds for the business expansion.
Okay.
And you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me. I can explain in more detail few things which I cannot discuss over the phone, over the recorded lines.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Anil Garu. I understand that. The next question is, does the legal entity require any SBE registration? How does SBA classifies as small enterprises?
Okay, if it's less than 500 employees, it is classified as a small business.
There is no need of submitting the SBE certification or anything.
No.
Okay. Yeah, self-employed or independent contractors eligible for these loans?
Self-employed or individual contractors, answer is yes, they are eligible because self-employed itself is a business owner. Your 1090, all 1099 contractors are business owners. You are eligible to apply for this loan.
Okay. And the next question is this loan, like you mentioned, first 2 years you don't have to pay, right?
Yes.
Starting third year you have to pay. The first 2 years, is it interest free or is it like the interest will be accumulated?
Interest will be accrued.
Okay. Is SBA looking for 51% ownership to be green card or USC or anybody?
Okay, yes, 51% is there still. Yes.
No,
I mean,
51% to be green card holder and US citizens only, or can be anybody.
No. Minimum 51% should be green card holder and are US citizens. That's it. Minimum 51% should be owned.
Okay, my LLC owns real estate properties and I have mortgages on them at higher interest rate than 3.75%. So can I borrow EIDL loan for max 2 million and use it to pay off the mortgages worth 2 million?
Yes, please. Yes, you can do it. It should be a business debt. I mean, it means the mortgage also should be on your business name.
Okay, that's a good one. I think that's a good amount to save, right? For the anybody is paying the higher.
But I think even Narasimhan asked us the same thing as a follow-up for Narasimhan, because he asked this question: for what purpose? You can use it for any repaying of debt. Maybe for now, even for the future also. You can have this money separate account. If you have any other debts you need to incur, you can use these funds to repay.
Okay. Is the entity is owned by EAD holder, can the entity be eligible? If the entity is owned by EAD holder, can the entity be eligible? EAD is like employment authorization document. If they have the employment authorization document, who is the owner of the company, can that entity be eligible for this loan?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with EAD. What does it mean? I may need to look into this.
Okay. Yeah. What is
the person whoever asked that question? They can post the question to me on the WhatsApp or you can text me. I'm happy to answer.
Okay. And what is the obligation if the company is closed and or sold?
So once your company is sold, director, because if the loan is more than $200,000, the director will be continue to be personally responsible and liable to repay the loan. So if you are closing your business, I strongly recommend you to repay this loan and close the business. Otherwise, they will say notice to you.
Okay. Can the funds be used to buy a partner share?
No. So it has to be used only for the operating expenses. As I mentioned, use the money only for the given purpose. Put it in a separate bank account. Use it only for the business purpose. You do also have other regular cash, correct? That you can see if there is any opportunity. But I want to talk in person to understand your exact situation. Then only I can give a right recommendation to you.
Okay. Due to COVID, we are left with 5 employees. Do we need to show the expenses, salaries, etc. only paid to these employees, or I can hire new employees and pay their salaries as well with this loan amount?
You can hire new employees and you can pay this.
Okay. If my 2020 gross profit is more than 2019 gross profit, am I eligible to apply for the 2 million EIDL?
Answer is yes.
But is it based on the 2019 tax returns?
Yes, it's a straightforward. Forget about 2020 numbers. Forget about other things. If it's 2019 numbers is what gross profit, 2019 gross profit into 2 is what you are going to get the loan.
Okay. Can an IT software company apply for these loans or not?
Answer is yes.
Okay. And the last question what I have here, how does SBA approve organizations who has global presence, but the US operations does have less than 500 employees?
Okay. So this is a specific case which I need to look into this and come back to you. I mean, I don't remember exactly right now, but I need to look into this and come back to you. But I have my contact details there. You can just reach out to me or send an email. I will be happy to look into SBA guidelines and I can come back to you, which is a unique case. So I need to look into this.
Okay, after I said that question, there is one more question came up. Following up to my real estate property mortgages question, since my tax return, that is 1065 line 3 is 0, can I still be eligible to get the max loan amount?
Gross profit, if it's a gross profit is 0, then no, you will not be getting the loan.
Okay, so that's all I have. Sai, you have anything?
I have few questions.
Okay,
Sai, you can ask.
Before going, Anil Garu, I got one question. Can the funds be used to acquire new assets for the company?
No, answer is no. It's only for the operating expenses. So So as I mentioned, use the money in a separate bank account, keep the money in separate bank account, but you do also generate the sales. The sales also happening because you have to pay salary, use this money to pay the salary. But from the sales, what you do?
Buy.
That money, you can use it for something else. But if you commingle the funds, you are out. If you commingled everything into the same bank account, then you cannot demonstrate to SBA saying that no, I didn't use this money to acquire the assets or something. But that's what I said. To make it very simple, straightforward, use the money, keep the money in a separate bank account, give the account to that guy, to SBA, whenever they want to come for an audit, if at all. And it's a loan. At the end, it's a loan. It's not a grant. It's not a forgivable loan. It's a simple 3.75% loan.
I think someone raised the hand, Suresh.
Sir, 1 second. So some people send questions to me direct.
Yeah,
messages.
go ahead.
I will complete it, then I will take up the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So here are my questions. Is SBA asking for security, collateral? Is SBA asking for collateral? If we mention our properties in the application and we sell those properties, how will it impact the loan? Okay. SBA is asking for the collateral if it's more than, technically, if it's more than $25,000, you need to give the collateral. Any of your business assets, all your business assets will be given as a collateral. If it's more than $500,000 loan, then you have to give an external collateral, like apart from your business owned assets, your inventory AR, you also need to, if business owns any other collateral, any other assets, you have to give it. You don't have to give anything from your personal. And what if you want to sell the loan after you got, what if you sell the property after you got the loan? You cannot sell the loan, you cannot sell the property until you repay the loan, or you need to get a formal written approval from SBA stating that, yes, you can sell this property. Otherwise, you cannot sell the property unless you repay the loan, because you are giving it as a collateral. Then my next question, my LLC owns real estate rental properties and I have a mortgages on them. I think it was already answered. So, okay. So then, is there any revenue drop requirement to apply for EADL? Answer is no. Also, is there any certification that owners needs to do? Answer is no. But economically, is the business impacted? Terms and conditions it has. I believe every business got some impact during the pandemic time, maybe in the March, April of that time. That itself also is an impact. But yes, in the terms and conditions, it says business needs to be economically impacted. But you are not certifying anything on that. So, is this loan under public charge? The owner is an H1, H4, so what consequence we have? This loan is not under public charge. This is not a grant. This is not a free money. It's a loan. It's not under public charge. The owner is an H4. So what consequences we have? If the owner is H4, you will not get this loan because 51% has to be owned by green card or citizens. Then what do you think? What are the general hiccups availing this loan? Okay, this is a good question. The biggest thing is what I'm noticing is lack of proper documentation, missing some documentation. So that's what I strongly recommend everyone to go through, ensure that, if you notice there are a lot of documentation, there are a lot of forms you need to sign. Go with a professional if possible, or otherwise just be double check what you are submitting and ensure that your address, your name, everything is in line with your tax return. Sometimes you might have changed your